on port 127.0.0.1 on port 4000. So I'm sorry, IP 127 on the port 4000. Let's go in here into our mudz and run it. So not to get too excited, but so far so good in that we've got this guy, please enter your name. But what happens when we type in Gary? Runtime exception. Oh, runtime. Alright, so hang on, let's go ahead and take a look. Oh, so our console request is not marked serializable. Man. Let's go ahead and continue that. I'm sorry, stop it. Easy, easy peasy. So essentially, it wants to serialize this using a binary serializer before it sends it over the network. But it can't do that if we don't mark the class as being serializable. So that makes a bit of sense. So far, nothing that we can't really understand. Do we want to? We got this process strategy. Do we want to see what happens when it comes in? Do we want to see what happens when it comes in, or we just want to try it? I say, if it's going to crash and burn, let's crash and burn in the most spectacular way possible. So we noticed that we got a connection from this port. Gary. Ooh. Thwarted again. What do we got this time? Oh, but I did. You know, I probably didn't build. Does anybody remember if I built last time? Hang on. You don't want to end on an easy bug. So let's try this one more time. Try to see exactly what's happening, because that is definitely going to be a pretty easy bug. Oh. Hang on. It's in common. That's on us, folks. I blame you at home who's watching. So we marked this one, but that was going to be something that we moved up here. So that, oops. Let's go and delete that guy. Come to the ones actually being used. Mark that serializable. Build it. Make sure we're referencing the same stuff. Do we build? Yes. Let's start it. Okay. Game response is not marked serializable. So the lesson here is anything that we want to send over a TCP connection has to be marked serializable so that the binary serializer can pack it up and throw it across the wire. At this point in every developer's career, they just want to mark everything serializable. You're serializable, and you're serializable. Huh. And room content needs to be serializable. You'd think we know this. Because it's pretty much going to be anything that you see a complex whatever, which means that we also need to throw serializable onto iGame object. Oh, sorry. Interfaces can't be serializable, so let's just see how that flies. Do a Gary. Room key. I apologize if this seems haphazard, but we made so many changes that sometimes it's just easier just to let the debugging do the work for you, just to see, okay, let's throw a pebble down the well and see what it hits. Ah, so this is good news. It came back to our render strategy. So let's go ahead and flip this around. So instead of our render strategy, we're here. Let's go ahead and make this the starter project. Let's come into our server. And we'll start it up. And then we'll start up our client. And we'll say that our name is Gary. So, I mean, if you made it this far, applaud yourselves, because what we've just been able to do is we've proven that we can start up a TCP server, start up a client, we can type something into the client from our game, for our game, throw it over to our TCP server, have our hive mind pick it up, process the command, and send it back. Oh, look at this bonehead mistake. I apologize. But we said if the player instance is equal to null, and we just assume that it's found something, but it really hasn't, because our game response is empty. Something went horribly wrong. So let's do this. If the response is null and game response was successful, we'll go back to saying this is a product type. So this will be the last thing we do, because I'll do the rest offline, because we're definitely proving that we're on the right path here, that everything works. But it's definitely getting to the point where you kind of want to get a beer and come back with a clear head. Alright, so we got the client, we got the server. We want to, I'm sorry, I'm in my TCP project. We want to come in here, and we want to see what's it doing. What's it doing when that request comes in for it to go horribly wrong? So we get our player name is null and our command name is Gary. So far, so good. So again, we're really talking across the wire now. We go into our get game response. We see that our player name is null. So we want to go into our hive mind and execute. We create a new player. So now we're in the execute command. We see that the game action is login. We see that the sender is our new player. That just has the name Gary. Targets whatever. Oh. So it's throwing an issue because we're trying to find things about a target, and we don't have one. So let's go into our hive mind and really just kind of toughen up for a second. And this is definitely a point where we kind of want to refactor once we've got a really good idea of what we're doing. If game action does not equal login, we'll do this. Otherwise, we want to keep on moving on. Let's try that again. Gary. Alright, so again, that debug point is fine. We're going to remove it because we really just want to... Oh, maybe one of us. Hang on. Did I rebuild? I don't think I did. There we go, one succeeded. So it couldn't find the debug point because I hadn't rebuilt since my last change. So it was trying to debug an older assembly. There we go. So we got our server running. It's listening to us on this port. We're going to type in Gary. It's going to come in. The action is login, so it's going to skip that. It's going to come here to get player by name. Ooh. It found a room with Gary in it. Go Gary. It found the player. Alright, so we're just going to continue on. Okay, it's good. We're back into debugging our client now. And then inside of our render strategy, so we're going to go into our server and run that. And then we're going to debug here. Gary. So we got a response back. Oh, we said that it was not successful. Let's go ahead and close that out. So inside of our hive mind, if we do find a player, we want to say was successful is equal to true. We got to start the server first. And start the client.